This evening, accident at Eccles to Mandela Roundabout. 3 injured as car collides with newly constructed structure. Ministry of Health partners with GTT and NGOs to launch Pinktober 2023. New hospital being built in number 75 Village Region 6 to enhance healthcare services. In the region, Dominican Republic closes border with Haiti amid tension over CANAL. And internationally, UN General Assembly 78th session, world leaders to convene as divides deepen. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for September 18, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, police are investigating a serious accident at the newly constructed roundabout at the intersection of Eccles to Mandela 4-lane road and Dumpsite Road on the east bank of the Marara on Saturday, September 16. The accident involved a motor car PAB 805 driven by 27-year-old Troy Humphrey, along with passengers 23-year-old Philip Jeffrey and 19-year-old Felicia Burnett. The car was traveling south on the eastern carriageway of the Eccles to Mandela 4-lane road at high speed. The driver failed to stop at the intersection, colliding with the roundabout structure. This collision resulted in extensive damage to the roundabout and the vehicle. All 3 vehicle occupants sustained injuries to their head and other body parts. They were transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital receiving medical attention. The driver and Burnett were admitted for observation and are considered stable. However, Jeffrey, who suffered a brain hemorrhage and a fractured right hand, was admitted to the ICU. Investigations into the accident are ongoing. The roundabout, which was recently built and deemed safe, is now used by the public as a recreational area, including photo shoots. In similar news, a 9-year-old boy tragically lost his life after he was allegedly struck by an unlicensed teenager at Dazzle Housing Scheme, East Coast Demerara, on Sunday. Daniel Joseph Haywood was fatally struck while on his way to church with his siblings. The accident occurred when the 16-year-old driver, headed south along the road, allegedly lost control of the car after driving into a pothole, colliding with Haywood, who had stopped to tie his shoelaces. The car ended up submerged in a trench. The collision resulted in Haywood being thrown into a nearby trench and sustained fatal injuries. The teenage driver, who had reportedly taken his father's car without permission, has been arrested and is assisting with the investigation. In other news, the government is in the process of constructing a new hospital in number 75 Village Region 6, which will replace the existing Skeldon Hospital and offer an extensive range of healthcare services. During a site visit last Thursday, Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, provided an update on the project's progress. While acknowledging a slight delay, he expressed confidence in catching up on the timeline once concrete and steel structures were in place. The new hospital, being built by Sinopharm, is expected to be completed by early 2025. Once operational, it will replace Skeldon Hospital and provide modern healthcare facilities, including CT scans and operating theaters, serving approximately 40,000 residents in the region. Additionally, construction is ongoing for 5 other hospitals in various locations. Stick around when we return. Ministry of Health partners with GTT and NGOs to launch Pinktober 2023. A 9-year-old boy with severe burns seeks life-saving treatment in the US after alleged abuse.
Oh gosh, what's this? Me son can't read or spell. Stop! 0 out of 20. Is what I could do here.
Let's start improving your child grades today. Register for our primary or nursery department. Hidden Treasures, we're located at 204 E Half Charlotte Street between Camp and Alexander. Or contact us at 6490373.
I can call them now.
Hidden Treasures, discovering gems in young minds.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brick Dam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
We will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, white spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she papa buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. He shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for bar for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health has partnered with Guyana Telephone, Telegraph and NGOs to launch Pinktober 2023, an initiative to raise cancer awareness and education nationwide focusing on breast cancer. The launch ceremony at the Marriott in Georgetown highlighted the importance of collective efforts in the battle against breast cancer. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony commended the ongoing efforts to raise awareness about breast cancer and acknowledged GTT's support in promoting this cause. The ministry is working with the International Atomic Energy Agency to procure 3 mammogram machines for strategic placements in regional hospitals, enabling free breast cancer screening. New screening guidelines for breast cancer are being finalized, and the government is striving to improve cancer management and data collection. Meanwhile, the return time from biopsy results at the Georgetown Public Hospital has already improved. It will further decrease with the implementation of a telepathology system at the end of the year. GTT's Chief Operating Officer, Ishwar Takruddin, emphasized the power of unity and compassion in the annual Pinktober movement, highlighting the partnership with various organizations and stakeholders in making a positive difference. We tell you now that a 9-year-old boy urgently needs financial help for medical care for third-degree burns and other bodily injuries. Neil sustained his injuries in an alleged case of severe child abuse. He was allegedly violently abused and set on fire, causing him to sustain third-degree burns to over 30% of his body. He is currently at the Georgetown Public Hospital fighting for his life. Not only did he sustain acute burns, but his entire body is covered in bruises and injuries, which are in various stages of healing. Due to the severity of his injuries, he must be medically transported to the United States for emergency treatment by air ambulance. The Saving Hand Emergency Aid publicly funded charity is raising funds for the boy receiving care at the Georgetown Public Hospital. Fortunately, the organization has secured treatment for the child, but $50,000 is needed to transport the child via an air ambulance to the United States. Every dollar will help to make him one step closer to life-saving treatment. A Shia volunteer is expected to accompany him for treatment abroad and stay with him as he recovers. Donations can be made via MMG at 650-8658, or you can visit the Shia Facebook page for other ways to donate. Don't go away after the break. South Africa's abandoned building. Government wants to end unlawful occupations. and UN General Assembly 70th session, world leaders to convene as divides deepen.
Problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. Here's credit. And today, all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all we will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a Guyana map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
Smart Minds Educational Institute, offering preschool, nursery, and primary levels. Finally, a school that is every parent's dream. Located at 69 Crow Street, offering academic excellence, trained qualified teachers, small class sizes, personalized gear, and one-to-one attention for your little ones. At Smart Minds, register for full-time or evening classes, daily practice pass exam papers for proficiency at the grade 2, 4, and 6 assessment, and CXE exam preparedness. Or join our Beccaphonics reading and writing program. So if your child is for preschool, nursery, or primary level, come to Smart Mind, located at 69 Street, or call 231-4885 or 600-9229 to enroll now.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. The Dominican Republic has closed its border with Haiti because Haitian farmers are building a canal from a shared river. On Sunday, the country's defense and industry ministers visited the border town of Deschambault. Al Jazeera's John Holman reports.
The Dominican Republic's defense minister visiting the border for the first time since his country ordered it closed to neighboring Haiti. That decision was made to pressure Haitian farmers to stop digging a canal on the Massacre River, which the two countries share. We took the opportunity to ask him about the fairness of the Dominican Republic's demands.
En el lado dominicano hay varios proyectos, ¿no? Como usando el agua del río. ¿Por qué no podemos tener uno?
But none of those projects diverts the course of the river. This one does, and that's why it violates the treaty.
But the Haitians say they're suffering from drought and have a right to irrigate their farmlands. They continue to dig despite the build-up of Dominican troops on the other side of the border. The Dominican government wants to show off what it's doing, but at the moment that's really all this is, a show. They can't actually do anything to stop the canal, which is on the Haitian side. Neither, it seems, can the Haitian government, even if it wanted to. Years of political crisis and violence have left it all but incapacitated. Even most of the capital, Port-au-Prince, is in the hands of gangs. So how, I asked the Dominican Defense Minister, does it expect that same Haitian government to resolve the crisis?
We know that the Haiti government, because of the actions of the gangs, has its hands tied. But the construction of the canal affects the interest of the Dominican Republic. It affects our farmers, and it violates the Treaty of 1929. So it's up to the government to search for a solution. It's in their hands.
Meanwhile, the closed border is affecting not just Haitians who depend on food from the wealthier Dominican Republic, but also traders and exporters on this side. The Dominican Industry and Commerce Minister, also at the border to reassure traders, promised to buy off any perishable food they can't sell. I asked him how long his government could do that for.
The limit of time doesn't depend on us. It depends on Haiti. Now we hope that the talks advance and we continue to reposition our products internally.
Meanwhile, in Haiti, support for the canal is only growing. Perhaps because of Dominican opposition, it's becoming a patriotic endeavour. Flags are fluttering. Busloads of people are arriving to help. Some performing voodoo rituals in support of the workers. Others, like Zephyr Magdalene, are bringing food.
We've come to support the canal being built because we are Haitians. We must cooperate among ourselves to give food to those who work at the canal.
The Dominican Republic insists that Haitian businessmen and politicians are behind the project. But however it started, the canal has become very much a popular enterprise, albeit one that could cause economic ruin if the two countries continue their standoff. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Dajabon.
Internationally, 70 people died last month in South Africa after an abandoned building caught fire. The 5-story building in Johannesburg had been taken over by homeless and vulnerable people who were forced to pay rent to criminal gangs. President Cyril Ramaphosa says the criminal groups need to be rooted out. Al Jazeera's Haru Matassa reports.
This dilapidated apartment building is one of hundreds in Johannesburg's inner city. It's where Nontuzo Mtembu and her family live. She was born in South Africa's Eastern Cape province and moved to Johannesburg with her husband in 1998. She says 4 adults and 6 children share one room.
The toilets are not clean and we are staying with kids here. You know, we sometimes thought that we were gonna get affected with the diseases because of the place.
They don't pay rent, one reason why they are still here.
I can't move because I don't have money. I'm not working anymore.
Several blocks abandoned by their owners or city authorities are full of families. City officials call them hijacked buildings.
This building has 14 floors and 420 rooms. Each apartment is occupied. There's no running water and there's no electricity. It's been like that for years.
Some people pay rent to criminal gangs who run the buildings. South Africa has a housing crisis, a legacy of apartheid, and a huge challenge for the governing African National Congress.
I think it's over 300,000 in terms of our backlog on housing our people. And you'd understand that at no point you'll arrive and say Johannesburg has resolved its backlog on housing. Precisely because every month we receive at least 18,000 people flocking into Johannesburg. 15,000 of those are probably from our provinces, all the 8 other provinces, and about 3,000 of those will be from foreign countries flocking Johannesburg with the hope of finding opportunities.
Last month, more than 70 people died when this apartment in Johannesburg caught fire. As survivors and relatives mourn the dead, the disaster reminded South Africans of the levels of poverty and desperation here, and that it's one of the most unequal societies in the world. Haru Matassa, Al Jazeera, Johannesburg.
And finally, world leaders are arriving in New York for the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly on Tuesday. Many are wondering if the Assembly has the political willpower to put aside geopolitical tensions and address the needs of the world's most vulnerable areas. Al Jazeera's James Bay reports from the United Nations.
Every year, this is the time of year when world leaders come to New York and speak in the UN General Assembly. Last year, Ukraine's President Zelensky addressed the gathering by video link, but this time he's expected to attend in person. President Putin, facing an arrest warrant from the International Criminal Court, is not coming and will be represented by his Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov. The UN sees no chance of meaningful discussions on ending the war, but they will work towards renewal of the deal which allowed Ukraine's grain to be exported by ship on the Black Sea. Russia pulled out of that agreement in July.
I will be receiving President Zelensky, I will be receiving President Erdogan, I will be receiving Minister Lavrov, and obviously this question will be on the table of our discussions. So I'm not going to say whether I am optimistic or pessimistic. The only thing you can be sure is that I remain determined.
The other key area of discussion this week is the Sustainable Development Goals being overseen by the Secretary-General's deputy. In the garden of UN headquarters, they've built a special pavilion to highlight the series of targets the UN agreed in 2015 to help all of humanity with the slogan, "No one left behind." But those 17 goals, which are marked by these doors, are a very long way from being met. The UN blames the global pandemic, inflation all around the world, and conflict. And of course that brings us back to the war in Ukraine. The Deputy Secretary-General told me the most powerful countries of the world, the G20, which met last week in Delhi, are the ones who still need to do more with regard to funding and reform of the global system.
They absolutely need to step up. They should have done so yesterday. We are 7 years late to stepping up to the commitments made in Addis. What we see is some movement towards saying we will do that, but I think there are many frustrations, trust deficits around will that happen, will it not happen?
The UN really hopes there'll be a quantum leap in the fortunes of the Sustainable Development Goals over the next few days, but some diplomats fear the war in Ukraine might end up overshadowing these efforts. James Bays, Al Jazeera, at the United Nations.
This brings us to the end of our regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's Safe TV2 Headline News for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can tune in tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. for a rebroadcast and at 7 p.m. for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.